Hello, David Baker here. I want to give you some wisdom for the day. I'm pastor of the Family Baptist Church in Columbia, Tennessee, vice president of Independent Baptist Online College, and host of this podcast, Wisdom for Life podcast. I want to give you a thought for the day. We think about in life, boy, one of the worst things that has ever happened in the history of the world, Adam and Eve. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. Wow, what a tough time that was. What could have fixed that? What could have helped that? Imagine this. Imagine no more cursed. No more working by the sweat of a brow. No more ladies having to carry a child with the pain of childbirth. Imagine that. Imagine no sin on this earth. That would have been a great thing. What would have happened if Adam and Eve had just stopped and gotten counsel? What would have happened? When Satan, the snake serpent, said, "Here, take this fruit," what would have happened? She said, "Hold on, let me get counsel." Who would she have gotten counsel from? Maybe her husband? What would happen if Adam had said, "Hold on, let me get counsel. Hey, God, here's what the serpent says. It's going to make us wise, that we'll be as gods. We'll know good and evil. God, would this be okay?" What would have happened if they had gotten counsel? Wow. Well, what an amazing difference the world would make. So many times we mess up in life because we do not get counsel. We do not ask advice of someone. It's amazing. When you have a medical problem, we go to a doctor to get counsel. I want a second opinion. We're getting more counsel. We have a legal problem. We go to a lawyer and get counsel. We get advice from a lawyer. We get counsel. That's what they're called, my counsel. I have a car problem. Guess where I just got back from a few minutes ago? From my mechanic. And I got counsel on that car problem. It's amazing. Electrical, we got an electrician. Plumber, hey, we got a plumbing issue. We got a plumber. We get counsel about all those important things. But yet, when it comes to our life, so many times we do what we think. Proverbs 11:14, where no counsel is, the people fall, but in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. Now, the multitude of counselors is just like what I said. I have a counselor for my health and for my vehicles. They're not the same, okay? I have a counselor for my electricity and a counselor for my plumbing, and they're not the same. A lot of multitude of counselors, we keep asking people advice until we find someone that agrees with us and said, "Oh, yeah, I got counsel. I found someone that agreed with me." That's not the way you want. The Bible says the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. If we do what we think, there's a way that seemeth to be right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. This seems to be right to me, instead of getting counsel from other people who could help. Proverbs 15:22, without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. They're going to be set in concrete, and that's what you want. You want those foundational things in life. Boy, I thank God for counsel. We were praying about starting a church in Columbia, Tennessee. Felt like God confirmed it with some people down here that wanted a church, wanted to talk to my pastor. He said, "Yes, I think you ought to go." I said, "Great. What should I do between now," this was January, and May when I graduate, finish my master's degree? And I gave him 3 or 4 ideas. He goes, "Well, I think you ought to go now." I said, but, and all these reasons why I couldn't. And he said, "Well, I'd go now. Thanks for coming by." He opened the door to his office. He wasn't going to argue with me. That was it. Take it or leave it. He didn't have time to try to convince me. And I walked down his hallway going, "There's no way. I can't do that." And I had all my logical reasons. Wait, that's the counsel from the man of God who God put in my life to help me. Boy, I'm so glad we did. It's a longer story for a longer time, all the things that happened. But the week we got down here, my wife met a 15, 16-year-old girl named Tanya, led her to Christ. A week later, she passed away in her sleep. What would have happened if we had not come? What would have happened to her and so many other things? Honestly, I think I might have never left if I didn't leave then with counsel. Wanted to, when we moved down here, I was going to buy a trailer. I had a friend, family member that owned trailers. And that way I didn't have to waste any money on rent. But Dad said, "Son, don't do that." But Dad, son, don't do that. But Dad, okay. So I listened to him. Boy, I sure thank God for it later. We had to wait a couple of years and rent, and then we bought a house, and we sold it for over $100,000 more than we bought it for, way more than what I thought I'd ever get for it, which helped us to buy a new house. Let's see, that trailer, with 11 children? How do you think that would have worked? What would that have been worth? What do you think the equity would have been in that if it was still standing 20 years later? Boy, I thank God for counsel. Do not do what you think. Get counsel. Pray about it. Talk to God about it, have your idea, then go get counsel. So many times when I've gotten counsel, I told them, here's my thinking, here's my thought process, here's my logic, here's my Bible, here's my prayer. And they said, that's perfect. That's exactly what I would advise you to do. Great. But I'm so glad I checked it to get counsel in your life. So have your multitude of counselors, the people that can counsel you on those different things. And do not just do what you think. So many times without counsel, those purposes are destroyed. Without counsel, we fall. Without counsel, life is messed up. Last thing on this, be careful who you get counsel from. We don't think we're getting counsel, but when we tell someone our problems, it's natural. They tell us what? What they think. Guess what that is? That's counsel. That's counsel. I'm not getting counsel. You're not going to a counseling office and laying on their couch, but you're talking to people at the coffee pot or at the water fountain or on your job or somewhere else, and they're going to be giving you counsel. Do not tell people your problems. Do not tell your problems to people that you don't want to get advice from, because that's not going to give you what you need. Get counsel from the authorities in your life, the people that God has given wisdom to in your life to be able to help you. And when you do, you'll be later in life going, wow, I am so glad I took the counsel from the counselors that God put in my life. Hey, get counsel. Adam and Eve with counsel, boy, what a difference that would make. Now fill in the blank, your name with counsel. What a difference that would make also. Hey, God bless you. We'll talk to you next time.